use this foot. He gets back and everybody thinks everything is okay because from the outside, everything is all good. He's back in wearing his shoes. He's back in sports, wearing and running on the field. But every now and then in his lonely time, he would notice he was still feeling pain.
All right.
And then what happens is, after this while of dealing with this healed, hurting piece, he goes back to the doctor, and the doctor says it healed, but it didn't heal correctly.
All right.
What I'll have to do then is, because you experienced this healing and you went through the feel good of getting back to normal, what I have to do then, because it did not heal correctly, is I have to break it again.
All right.
He gets back to school and everybody is expecting him to be able to play in this big game they have coming up. And he shows back up on crutches and everybody is saying, man, what happened to your foot? You've already broken this before. What happened? Did you get in an accident? He said, no. Did you fall down some steps? He said, no. He said, did you get in an altercation and somebody stepped on your foot? Did you get hit by a car? What happened to your foot? Did you break it in something painful again? He said, no, believe it or not, the doctor broke it. And the people were amazed because they're saying, how is it that the same doctor that helped you get back to health the first time is the same person that's causing you to go back through the same pain again, through having your leg broken, your foot broken again? He said, because the doctor knew something that I didn't. While I was excited about feeling good temporarily, the doctor said, if I don't break it again now and cause you the pain now, you'll have to endure the same agony for the rest of your life. So what I'd rather do is have you go through the pain temporarily so that when it's put back together this time, it's put back together correctly. That there were some of y'all in this room, and to be honest with you, that's the reason why you're having trouble saying amen this morning, because you know what it's like to feel broke, but the problem is you've been blaming the wrong person for your brokenness. You've been talking about how the devil is on your track. You've been talking about how the enemy has tried to break you down and destroy you, but the reality is it's not the devil this time. This time you're feeling the brokenness of what it's like when God is the one that got his hand on the bow and he sees something that you don't see and knows, in order for me to get you back to where you need to be, I got to cause you to go through being broken. There are some of you in here now, and it's hard for you to stomach, because in church, that's all we talk about. Everything, something bad happens, it's the devil. Every time something bad that we don't like happens, it's because we did something wrong. But every now and then, God says, I'll cause you to be broken because you did something right. And to be honest with you, the only way for me to get the best out of you is to break it out of you, so that you'll have to learn how to lean and depend on me. And you can only do that through your brokenness. There are some of y'all in here today, y'all don't want nobody to know, but you wouldn't pray like you prayed had you not been broken. You wouldn't even be sitting up in church this morning had you not been broken. The reality is, had you not been broken, you'd have turned up like everybody else last night. You would have went on to New Orleans up I-10 East, but because you know what it's like to be broken, you said, I got to get back to the house so that the same person that's causing me to feel pain will cause me to feel healing. In the text, let me hear work my text. If I don't, you'll even say I didn't preach. In the text in Matthew chapter 26 and verse 26, the Bible says that they're sitting down to take the Passover feast. I told y'all on the first Sunday, this Passover feast was instituted in the book of Exodus when the people were delivered out of Pharaoh's hand in Egypt. They got instructions that you ought to every year at the time of the Passover feast, sit down and take the feast so that you can remember where you were and where you are. Every now and then, God will cause you to get to a place where you remember where you were, so that you don't act bullshit with where you are. You're not where you are because you've been good, because you're so smart, because you're so fine, because you look so good, but you're where you are because there is some stuff that I have to bring you out of. Every now and then, I got to let you remember how you cried when you were in Egypt. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. I'm about to see me myself and shout on it later. I need somebody in here that understands, baby, I'm where I am because of what God brought me out of. Yeah. And so he says, sit down every now and then, take the Passover feast. And they're sitting down, and Jesus is now causing them to go through a paradigm shift. He's causing their thinking about where they've been to be shifted, because now he's saying this would no longer be the Passover, but it will be the communion on the Last Supper. This will be the supper you remember, not only being delivered from Pharaoh, but you're going to have to remember now the blood that I shed on Calvary. And I know the modern church ain't shouting about stuff like this until Easter, but I just believe there's at least 5 people in the sanctuary today that ain't come to shout about no house, no car, no booth finger, no job, but you still get excited when the preacher stands up and starts preaching about the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? It's nothing but the blood of Jesus that still makes me get excited when I'm broke as a drop glass. When my booty walked out of my life, I still get excited when I think about the blood. All right. He's sitting down with them, and as they're eating, he does something that messed their mind up, because this feast was not about him yet. He sits down and says, this is what he does. While they're eating, he interrupts their natural program, and he lifts the bread and blesses it. He blesses the bread. If I cut across the field, he blesses it, and then he breaks it. Now, this is the problem that I have with the text, because I can handle the text if he had break it and then blessed it. The issue that I got is that it's blessed and then broken. And some of y'all, the strain that you're having on your faith now is that you've already survived the season of being blessed. The struggle that you're having is that God, just last month, everything was all good because you've been blessed. You know what it's like when you first get saved, when God answers every prayer you pray. When you first start coming to church, God, if you want a new cell phone, God allows you to go in the Sprint, and you ain't got to pay nothing to get a new phone. It just comes that way because that's how stuff is working. As soon as you complain about getting a raise, the boss calls you in and says, we've been watching your work, and we decided we're going to move you to a new area and give you some more money because you're going through your blessed season. I must not be talking to anybody in the temple of praise today, but I'll encourage my doggone self, because I know what it's like to go through my blessed season. When I first started the temple of praise worship center, folk were coming down the aisle every single Sunday. There was one particular Sunday where there were so many people joining, there was not room enough to stretch them across the front. They were all on the stage. And then all of a sudden, God that stopped putting me through the blessed season and put me through the season of being broken. Now, in my broken season, Negroes started lying. In my broken season, folks stopped showing up. In my broken season, folks stopped paying their tithes, and I'm struggling, taking money out of my own pocket, putting it down so the way that in my broken season, preaching engagements wasn't coming. Like, is there anybody in here that knows what it's like to be moved from your season of being blessed where everything is working like it's supposed to your season of being broken where ain't nothing working like it's supposed to? I come to preach to some folk that know how to shop through their broken season. Maybe it don't feel like, look like, seem like, it sound like God is going to show up in my life. But that don't matter to me, because God did enough in my blessed season to carry me through my season of being broken. Y'all sit down. I'm still in my introduction. I ain't even preaching yet. And so what happens then, he blesses it and then he breaks it. I'm blessing it because I'm reeling you in. I'm getting you close to me so that when I break you, you're close enough not to leave. I say it all the time. I'm so sick of fair weather Christians that the only time you can come to church is during income tax season. I'm tired of fair weather Christians that can only come to church when all the bills are getting paid on time. I'm looking for some folk that can say, Lord, if you don't do another thing, you've already done more than enough. God, if you don't pay the rent this year, you did it last year, I'll bless you. Lord, if you don't give me another job, you got me the last 3 that I messed up, and I'll bless you. Is there anybody in here today that can say, Lord, if I don't do nothing else, I'm going to hold on to your unchanging hand? And so what he does is he breaks the bread. Now let me give you the alternate to what really could have happened, because in their custom at that time, and even to the day in Midwestern civilization, it is a sin to put a metal utensil to bread. Because to put a knife, a fork, a spoon, any metal utensil to bread in Midwestern civilization, it is symbolic of cutting off life. But when you break bread and share it, it's symbolic of sharing life. Pastor, what are you saying? I'm saying he could have cut you off, but instead of cutting you off, he decided to break you. Even up with the folk that can say, you know what, I can bless God for being broken. Because the reality is, he should have took my life. He should have killed me in the accident. Should have let the bullet in the club be mine. Should have let me blow my own way. But grace and mercy was following me. And I should have been dead. He let me feel pain. He let me feel pain instead of dying. He let me need prayer instead of a funeral. He let me need some help instead of a pallbearer. Is there anybody in here that can thank God for the pain when you should have been dead? So what he does is he breaks the bread to show you, baby, I could have killed you, but I'll break you instead. Now here's the reality, baby. I need you to understand that these are not no Red Lobster biscuits. This is not no Papa's bread. This ain't no saltgrass bread or wheat bread that they come in to bring you some sweet butter with. No, baby, this is unleavened bread. In other words, this was crackers. Stay with me. This was thin, almost crispy bread that they cooked on an open flame. The text says he break it. But what we mix in the text is when he break it, it didn't fall apart. What should have happened when he broke the bread is it should have crumbled. But he was still holding it in his hand. I need some folks to understand the only reason you didn't fall apart during the breaking is because even though you were being broken, he still kept you in his hand. Your neighbor and say, neighbor, his hands held me together when I could have fell apart. His hands held me together when I wanted to break up. His hands held me together. I need some real breakers that can thank God for being broken. Because I almost lost my mind, but God let me keep my mind for my next house. I almost lost my mind, but he let me keep my mind for my next move. I almost lost my mind, but he let me keep my mind for my next job. Your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm just blessing God because I almost fell apart. I almost let go. Almost went crazy. But he helped me. So it could have been worse. I need some folk in here to understand. Now let me preach for 5 minutes and we going home. I need some folk in here that can look back over your life and look back at what could have, should have, would have happened. And can just bless God because it should have been worse. I know you lost some stuff, but you could have lost you. I know some folk walked away, but God could have walked away. It could have been worse. Call yourself and say, self, you made it. Say, self, you didn't fall apart. You didn't lose your mind. Okay, stop. Just stop. Both of y'all, just stop. Sit down. I still got to Here's the reality. Some of you are so resilient in this room. You haven't even been giving yourself the credit you deserve. You've been so down on yourself because you cried. And you won't don't even look yourself in the mirror and give yourself the props you deserve. I need y'all to stop worrying about who like your Instagram pic, who appreciates your Facebook post, and just appreciate your dog. I know folk on Facebook hate because you like your own picture and your own status. Forget them. I need some folk that can be excited about yourself. And if nobody share your picture, you share it. Nobody like your status, you share it. You like it yourself because you survived when other people died. I'm almost done. Come here, David. Come here, David, because what do you have to do with this text? Come here, David. David, after all he'd been through, David took time. Let me put a pause in Matthew. I'm going to come back and get it. David puts pen to paper and says, it was good for me that I was broken. I need some folk in here to understand, baby, that the breaking was not to kill you. The breaking was to make you strong. Okay, let me put it this way. Anybody ever been to a skating rink? And you know they have those glow-in-the-dark things that go in your mouth, and glow-in-the-dark, they go around your neck and on your arm. Anybody ever seen them? They look clear when you pull it out the package. And when you pull it out the package, if you don't know any better, you thought when the package came off, it should have just started glowing. Yeah. What the directions tell you is that after you pull it out the package, after it's exposed, it's not enough just for it to be exposed, but there's something in the inside that you got to break. You don't just bend it barely to get it to break. You got to break it until you hear something snap. But after something snaps and breaks on the inside, then on the outside there comes a glow. Now while you could only find it before in the light, now it is a value in the dark because it's been broken in the light, so now it glows in the dark. And the word of God says that you are a light on the hill that cannot be hid. In other words, God says, I got to let you be broken while everybody could see you, so that when you get in your dark place, you don't need nobody else's spotlight. You bring your own light with you. I need some real believers that can say, baby, I need your spotlight. I'll bring the spotlight with me. Let me get out of here. Give me 5 minutes. I'm done. And so let's get back to Matthew. Matthew says that after he blesses the bread and breaks it, he then hands it out to the people. I'm done for real. And says, this is my body. Now, as a kid, Jason, growing up in missionary Baptist, I used to think this was disgusting. Because I'm saying, Lord, what do you mean to tell me you got people sitting down here eating dinner and you're going to tell them this is your body and blood? I don't know about y'all, but I got a vivid imagination. So when you say stuff like that to me, I start picturing stuff. So you mean to tell me you want me to eat your body and drink your blood? Okay, nobody else thought that? Okay, it was just me. But he gets there and he hands out the bread and said, this is my body. I'm done for real. Help me find my key, man. He said, this is my body. Now when he blessed it, he blessed bread. But after he broke it, he dispersed it. So he caused it to go to places it wouldn't have went. And after he spreads it out, he says, eat it because this is my body. Is there anybody in the sanctuary that get excited about the fact that after you've been broken, God is getting ready to change your value? Because while you were at first just bread, and after you were just something to keep everybody happy and keep other people satisfied, now you are the representation of the one that blessed you and broke you. I'm trying to tell you that God is getting ready to put you now in a situation where when folk look at you, they see the body and blood of Jesus. Y'all ain't gonna help me close this circuit. But is there anybody here that you get excited about that after you've been broken, you're now the representation of who Jesus is in your life? And folks around you that won't ever go to church and won't ever read the Bible, when they look at you, they'll see who Jesus is, and they'll wonder how did you survive with the season you've been through. They've seen you cry, they've seen you struggle, they've seen you not want to go out because you were in your broken place, but God God is getting ready to promote your value because of what you went through and you survived. And can I prophesy to your situation? If your situation got an expiration date, and any day now, your problems are getting ready to expire. Your pain is getting ready to expire. Your sleepless nights are getting ready to expire. And God is getting ready to make your value go up. I need somebody that if you don't mind, go out of a neighbor to hug yourself and say, self, you're valuable. Not because you look good, not because you speak well, but because you survived being broken. I need to go back to my introduction because now the boy that had his foot broken twice is on the field. He runs faster, he jumps higher, he's stronger. And why? Because when it was broken, what the doctor did, he took out the bone that was causing him pain. So this time when it hit him, there was something on the inside that had to get out in order to make him better. Pastor, what are you saying? There's something that God needs to get out of you, and the only way to get it out is to break you, to get your value. I ain't preaching to nobody, but if I'm preaching to you, just to find you a neighbor, and I'm leaving this place, but find you a neighbor and look like they're going through they broken season. Find you a neighbor with tears in their eyes. Find you somebody and hold their hand. Hold it till you feel peace. Hold it till you feel power. Hold that hand. Look them in the face and say, neighbor, I'm praying for you that your faith not fail. But let me help you encourage yourself and say, neighbor, it don't look like it, but you're coming out. It don't feel like it, but you're coming out. Yo, ain't helping me preach. Find another neighbor that look like they need the hand of God in their life. Find them, hold them, find them, and hold them, rock them, shake them, and rock them. And say, neighbor, it don't feel like it, but there's better days ahead for you. Tell them, say, neighbor, your greater is coming, and it's right around the corner, so you can't quit. Squeeze their hand, so you can't quit. Squeeze their hand, and say, neighbor, like I'm holding your hand, hold on to God, unchain his hand, and God will, won't he do it? God will, won't he do it? God will, won't he do it? Yes he will, yes he will, yes he will. Say yeah, say yeah, yeah.